We tend to think relationships end loudly. We picture betrayals, slammed doors, and massive shouting arguments that shatter a marriage overnight. Statistical reality shows that marriages most often end through a slow, entirely silent erosion that occurs over years. Psychologists call this the roommate marriage. It happens when a couple maintains an extremely high level of day-to-day functionality, but operates with absolutely zero romantic passion. Because this erosion makes no noise, millions of couples are living in it right now, completely unaware the trap has closed until the intimacy is already gone. Consider the modern, highly optimized household. The chores are divided, the calendars are synced, and the logistical machinery of daily life runs flawlessly. Here lies the trap's central paradox. Couples look at this friction-free environment, see a lack of arguing, and assume their relationship is healthy. But that hyper-efficiency creates a vacuum. The mental energy required to optimize schedules and manage chores pushes out the emotional connection that formed the partnership in the first place. When a household runs with machine-like precision, the partners no longer need to negotiate, compromise, or lean on each other for daily support. This optimization removes the small moments of vulnerability and necessary friction that keep a romantic connection alive. This chart maps exactly how a passionate partnership regresses into a platonic cohabitation, following a predictable downward trajectory. Look at this first sharp dip. Phase 1 is the death of the incidental. This is when couples stop the non-sexual physical contact, the casual hand-holding in the car, or the quick kiss when walking through the kitchen. Removing that casual touch acts as the first domino. It triggers an unconscious psychological retreat, where both partners start shielding themselves from emotional vulnerability, which leads right into phase 2. Up here, watch the conversation topics shift. Discussions about internal lives, personal hopes, anxieties, and ideas are entirely replaced by discussions about groceries, kids' schedules, and household maintenance. By finishing this communication shift, the couple unknowingly demotes themselves to business partners running a domestic corporation. Eventually, that emotional divide becomes physical. The distance gets built straight into the architecture and the daily routines of the home. This is phase 3, parallel lives. One partner stays up late in the living room while the other sleeps. They develop entirely separate, non-overlapping hobbies. They occupy the same house, but they stop occupying the same rooms. The psychological toll here is severe. It creates a profound sense of isolation, leaving people feeling deeply, quietly lonely, even when sitting 3 feet away from their spouse on the couch. Yet, couples will actively justify this distance through the absence of conflict fallacy. Because they aren't actively arguing, they tell themselves the relationship is fine. When a couple accepts silence as an adequate substitute for actual emotional connection, the drift is complete. The trap is locked. You cannot passively wait out a lost spark. You can't sit around hoping the passion returns on its own. Reigniting it requires deliberate, mechanical action. The first step is disrupting the routine. You have to force a hard break in the household's logistical machinery. That means scheduling time where the only goal is to simply exist in the same space, without a to-do list. The second step is intentional communication, enforced by a strict no logistics rule. During that dedicated time together, talking about the mortgage, the kids, or tomorrow's schedule is off limits. At first, staring at each other with nothing to manage will feel highly awkward. But that awkwardness is the necessary cost of bridging a structural divide built over years of drifting. The natural life cycle of a busy, modern household trends toward this functional drift over time. This graph visualizes the law of domestic entropy. Left completely alone, the energy in a relationship naturally decays toward a baseline of passionless, functional cohabitation. Countering that decay requires constant upward spikes of active intervention. Intimacy functions as a continuous, active resistance against the gravitational pull of everyday chores. Escaping the roommate marriage trap requires a shift in perspective. Lasting intimacy survives through deliberate, ongoing, daily defiance of domestic efficiency.